I'm so glad you're here. Let's start. Darlings, it's Virtual Halston, episode 6. I'm Julie Halston. I'm so happy you're with us. I have my adult beverage. It's Pride weekend. We've got a very big show tonight. Judy Gold, the incomparable, is with us, and we're so excited. Now, it is normally the weekend where we celebrate all things Pride. And we usually have, of course, the big LGBTQ plus and gay pride parade. There are events usually all around the city. Now they're virtual. But we're going to celebrate Pride our way here at Virtual Halston. One thing I'm very proud of is that I finally got my Botox. Yeah, I finally did it. I told my doctor, I said, I know that, Frozen, the musical, has closed, which is terrible, but I'd like you to take that set and just stick it right on my forehead. And he did. People say to me, well, why do you do so much Botox? Aren't you afraid people won't know what you're feeling? I'll tell you how I'm feeling, but I'll look better doing it. So there we have it. I'm very excited about this show, particularly because it was really through the gay community in the 1980s that this loudmouth blonde found her voice. And I have been grateful ever since. I really found myself through the gay community. And we'll talk more about that as we go along. But now a softer voice will be joining us. Jim Caruso, where are you? Jim Caruso joined.
Really, anybody's a softer voice than you, Julie Halston.
No, it's pretty horrifying.
Ethel Merman is like, no, what? What'd she say?
Yeah.
How are you, my friend? You look beautiful.
What, honey?
You look beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. I didn't, I don't have any rainbow colors. I unfortunately don't. But I love the tie. Tell us about the tie you're wearing.
Oh, I actually feel like a gay pride float. This is, I thought this was perfect. It's a Lily Pulitzer tie, and you can't even say Lily Pulitzer and try to be heterosexual. Just
no,
not a thing. And my hair is doing I don't know. It needs cut so badly. Next week, it's going to happen. We're going to get
you will feel better.
It's a float. It's a pride float on my head. But do you remember your first pride parade?
I do, actually. I was very excited. Now, I don't know if we can say this anymore, but, in those days, it was, room, the lesbians on the bikes.
Yes.
I remember being very excited about that. I don't know why that was so exciting. I just loved it. Yeah, I do. And I think I just cried the whole time because, so many of my friends passed away during the AIDS epidemic. And it was very, very moving. It was very, very exciting and moving. And to see people, it was an affirmation. That's what it was. It was an affirmation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
what about yours, honey?
I moved here in 1990, and I was with a vocal group at the time, and we had just done 8 gay cruises with Harvey Fierstein. And in 1990 or 91, he was the parade, what do you call it? The Grand
Marshal?
The Grand Marshal. Thank you. That's the word. And so as my friend and I were standing on Christopher and Gay and like that whole area in there, the parade went by and Harvey was on the float screaming my name, Caruso! Ah! And I looked at my friend and I said, well, we're gay now.
We're gay now. Well,
we weren't before.
Yeah, we're gay now.
I was always in the gay reticence parade. It was never something that it never really interested me that much. But that was very it was so traumatic and inspiring to me. Yeah, it really it got me into the spirit, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget him screaming our names. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Charles and I were in the parade one year. We were on a float and we were doing, I think, Red Scare on Sunset. And to be on our sort of little float, which was like a Cadillac. And we were, it was very Marilyn Monroe. We were waving on the back of a Cadillac. And to turn that corner onto Christopher Street and see everyone from their windows, it was very, very thrilling. And to honor, look, this is from 1984. Vampire Lesbians of Sodom. The
fantastic.
T-shirt. Isn't that fantastic? So that's how we're celebrating.
You still wear it?
I do. I do it. But now I wear it to work out.
Yeah. Well, I brought a little prop. I was in a show I like to call Liza's at the Palace. And this was, they were selling these cups at the Palace. Isn't that attractive?
I love it. And I loved that show, and you were brilliant in it. That was a real milestone.
Thank you.
And
Liza was better. She was better, but I was okay.
No, you were fantastic.
I was proud to be in it.
Now, wait a minute. We have to discuss the fact that Ruby Lochner was on your show recently. She was celebrating a birthday.
Ruby is our technical director of this very show. Yes.
And she was on your show and she sang. And I got to tell you, with all those singers that, Broadway singers and whatnot, she was my favorite. And also she was introduced by Alice Ripley, who was her idol, correct?
Yeah. I had booked Alice to sing, and who is fantastic. Alice
she's
Ripley,
amazing.
Just beautiful. And a Tony winner. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could get Alice to introduce Ruby on her birthday right before she sings? And so that's what happened. And it was great. It was so much fun.
It was great. And Ruby is so adorable. Can we bring Ruby in? Ruby, can you come in? Ruby.
Oh, Ruby.
Hello.
Ruby.
She is still with the balloons?
They haven't deflated yet.
Well, they will. Just trust me.
Listen, she's only 21. When you're my age, they don't even blow up. Just deflate naturally. Do you know what I mean? Once you turn a certain age, they don't blow up.
Yeah, it's a man thing. It's a lady thing. It's an everything.
Yeah. Okay. Now tell us, Ruby, about your experience on the cast party.
Oh, it was amazing. It was like the best birthday present ever.
What did you sing?
I sang I Can Do Better Than That from the last 5 years. So something peppy and fun. And it was such a dream come true to have Alice, somebody who I've looked up to for so long, be the one to introduce me. And it was kind of like a pinch me moment. I had to just really focus on not abandoning my producer duties and just listening to her talk all day. Yeah. But it was fantastic. It was the best way to end, quite possibly the most unexpected way to celebrate a 21st birthday.
21. I don't know if I remember 21.
I don't. What were you doing at 21, Julie?
I was a child bride. I mentioned that once before on episode 4, I think. I was married.
That's right.
I was like a child bride. I got married to my college sweetheart. And that's what I was doing. And living in Brooklyn. But anyway, enough of that. But I certainly wasn't doing what Ruby was doing. I think I was just trying to figure out the subway system. You know what I mean? I was like, wait, I'm on the F train. What is the F train? It was sad. It was sad. You're running the world, you not only do this show but other shows, and you've got your whatever event thing that you're doing. And what else? What is that? NBC or?
I work with an event agency. We do a ton of other shows for large clients. It's been a pinch me moment. It's been the greatest.
Yeah, she's just got out all of it, doesn't she, Jim? She's just beautiful and talented and poised and mature. Goodbye, Ruby.
Bye.
Enough of her.
Yeah, enough of her.
Bot should never leave.
Exactly. Now, wait, we got to tell people why we're doing this show. Besides the fact that we hope we're entertaining you and we want to provide laughter and entertainment, we're also doing this for a very special reason. Well, number of people know that my husband passed away a couple of years ago from pulmonary fibrosis, and I'm a big fundraiser for the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. And there are people in the Broadway community that have PF. It's a terrible lung disease. And in fact, my dear friend Jennifer Robin Arnold, who was a dresser at Phantom of the Opera, had PF, and then she got COVID-19. So it's a really serious underlying condition, and it is something that is fatal unless you get a lung transplant. So there we have it. We're giving a portion of every show to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. You can tip us at Venmo or PayPal. We have to, of course, pay for the platform, pay for my lashes. And like I say, a portion of it goes to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation, which is near and dear to my heart. And Jim, people have been very generous.
Yes, but people have been generous, but I want to say, in these shows, I can say it better than you can because it's your show. You would normally pay a cover to see Julie, or certainly to see our guest, Judy Gold. Right. You would pay a cover. You would pay a drink minimum. You would have to order meatloaf or
popcorn,
something.
Shrimp.
Yeah. You'd have to spend a lot of money to see these people. So if you can, we are so thrilled to accept tips and donations, and it goes to a great cause, just a wonderful cause.
It really is.
And Julie's raised multi thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars for PF, and it's I'm always so impressed with the way she's handled that and how much of a supporter she's been to that community.
Well, thank you.
As well as our showbiz community.
Our showbiz community. Actually, over the last 9.5, 10 years, I've raised really millions of dollars for PFF. But, the fact is all nonprofits are really suffering right now. So I'm really trying to keep this going.
Yes.
And we want to also tell people to subscribe to YouTube, right?
Huge.
Can we do that?
See down there
where it says subscribe.
That looks creepy when I'm doing that. I know it looks creepy.
It looks scary.
See down there?
Yeah.
There's a little button that says subscribe, or as the kids say, subscribe.
Yes.
If you click that button, you will be kept informed on all of our upcoming shows, Julie's show, anything else, any of the other fun stuff we do, and because we want to keep in touch with you, and that's how we'll do it.
Yeah, and eventually we'd like to get a sponsor. Wouldn't that be fun to get a sponsor?
What if that happens?
Yeah, exactly. And if anyone's out there that wants to sponsor us, please feel free.
Yes, it's Adrian Arsht out there, for heaven's sake, Adrian.
Yeah, I mean, it would be so fun. So anyway, please subscribe. And now I was talking a little bit about how I found my voice through the gay community many, many, many years ago. And one of the things I really learned from Charles Bush and being in the company of Theater in Limbo, but also just being around especially gay men, was the idea of how to present. I didn't really know how to present. And I'm hoping that when we get a bigger budget for Virtual Halston, I'll be able to present like this woman did many years ago. Ruby, can you show that clip of Loretta Young? This is my new idol.
Miss Loretta Young.
Hello.
Miss Loretta Young.
Hello. Oh, my, it's nice to be back with you again.
Miss Loretta Young.
Oh my. And we should tell our viewers that clip goes on for another 4 minutes. Her just
It's hilarious.
and just going, hello, hello, hello. And I love when she said, oh my, it's good to be back with you again.
Like it's a surprise.
Hello. You have a television show, Loretta.
I like the voiceover guy. Could not be more bored. Miss Loretta Young. You can hear the disdain. Well, listen. Do you know what Edith Head said?
What?
Of course you do. She said you can have anything you want in life if you dress for it.
She's right.
Loretta knew this. It gave her a television show.
They gave her a television show. And Loretta Young was a very big Catholic. Did you know?
Yes,
She was
I
a very
did know
big
that.
Catholic, but she also had an illegitimate child with Clark Gable. Yeah. Scandal.
If you're going to have an illegitimate child, have it with Clark Gable.
Have it with Clark Gable.
Like I've always said.
Okay, you're killing me. Anyway, I just also wanted to do a shout out to Deb from New Jersey. Jim, Virginia Graham is not really famous anymore, but we got so many comments about our showing Virginia Graham and Girl Talk, and
The
people,
kids went wild.
They kind of did. It was a little weird. And I got look. There goes, what's her name? Deb from New Jersey actually sent me the book. And the book, there it is, The Continuing Saga of Virginia Graham. Because apparently there was a saga, and now there's a continuing saga. But anyway, Deb from New Jersey, thank you so much. I can't wait to read it. It's her with, I don't know, Joan Crawford. Just the idea of Virginia Graham and Joan Crawford having lunch together. I don't know. It just tickles me so. So thank you once again. And thank you to our viewers and listeners. It's just great. And again, I just want to put out there why we're doing the show. Ruby, there we are. PayPal, Venmo. Please tip us if you're enjoying this show. We're enjoying doing it. And I have to say, Jim, we are very excited about our guest.
I'll say.
Yeah.
I love this person.
She's one of my idols. She really is. I just adore her. Now, as you know, I like to do a devotional or an affirmation. And in honor of Judy Gold, who happens to be Jewish and gay, a Jewish gay woman, I thought I would put up, because it is very, very, it's actually pretty profound. And we'll find out if Judy has anything to say about this. The 5 simple rules for happiness. Ruby, there we are. Look, free your heart from hatred, free your mind from worries. Live simply, give more, expect less. Let's see what Judy has to say about the 5 simple rules for happiness. She is an A-list comic. She is an actress. She is an author. She is a commentator. She's a mom. I also think she's the hardest working woman in show business. I know you and I work hard, but Judy, I gotta tell you, and she deserves everything. Can we bring her in? Judy Gold, everyone.
Hi! Look what I changed for you!
You look so nice.
You look gorgeous.
Well, we have to tell everyone that when I came on for the sound check, I had this ugly green shirt on and my other glasses. And then I look at these two, and then with the Loretta Young, I went and put this thing on. I got from doing, what was that? Menopause, I cannot remember. Yeah. What the hell was it? With Tim Daly,
Oh, it's a show? Oh, wait.
TV show. She played the president, Tia Leone.
Madam Secretary.
Madam Secretary. So I played the comic at the White House, at their White House Correspondents' fake dinner.
Right. Okay.
The wardrobe, I had to pay for it, but whatever.
Oh.
But I was like, oh my God, they are so You're very debonair, both of you. Both.
Well, no, that's all Jim. That's all Jim. Darling, we have to ask you because you are a political commentator in many ways.
Aren't we gonna
Discuss
talk about the 5 Jewish things?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So, what are your thoughts about the 5?
1 and 2 don't work for me. 1 and 2 don't work for me.
Okay, so let's discuss. What's the first one? The first one is here. Split this. There we are.
Not during this administration. Maybe another administration. Not this administration. I can't. I hate him. Like I hate him. Like and Mitch McConnell and Bill Barr. Like I hate that. I hate them.
Lindsey Graham.
Ugh. These hypocritical they're murderers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Free your mind from worries. I mean, look, thank you, Talmud, but to tell that to a Jew, I mean, like, that's all I do is worry.
Of course. Now, the others, of course, expect less. That seems typical.
I expect nothing, so that's good.
Right.
And then I give as much as I can. I really do. Like, I try to do charity. And I live simply because I have no fucking money because this goddamn pandemic. Anyway.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a feeling those first 2 were going to be like, no.
And I'm not, like people think I'm really negative and pessimistic. And here's the thing. I am not a pessimist because if I was a pessimist, I would not be in this business. Anyone who stays in this business for their entire life thinks there's a possibility something good's going to happen. Or they wouldn't stay, we're all optimistic a little bit, even if we heard it. But
I think what happens, Judy, I know myself, a lot of people enter show business, but not a lot of people maintain show business.
Right. And it's sort of like I know you, I know Jim, I would die if I couldn't perform. Like I told you before, I performed at a drive-in movie theater in Queens on the back of a flatbed truck. The audio's going through the cars, the radio, and the people laugh by flashing their lights.
Oh my God.
And I loved it, but I was like doing crowd work with the cars, like, hey, that Honda needs an inspection. Oh, look at the Volkswagen coming to see a Jewish comedian. Like it was such, I got, the feeling you get after you do a set.
No, and when you have an audience in the palm of your hand, there is no feeling like it. It's orgasmic. It's fantastic. It's so great. I mean, I remember even one of my worst gigs was literally on Halloween, and I had to make my way through the gay pride parade, doing for like $100 in front of like 15 people, a leather bar down in the village.
Right.
And, it was kind of a nightmare, and the toilets didn't work. It was, and somebody was on a trapeze, and it was like, I don't want to see this. I know what's going on that trapeze, and no. But you know what? I was happy my set worked.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
But it's like those circumstances. I mean, I have done so many shows in my life. And like when I started out, I went on the road like an idiot, but I wanted to be a great comedian. And I mean, I performed in lunchrooms during the day at colleges in Alabama. Like I just wanted stage time. And I love that part of it. The business part of it is so awful. Like there's really nothing. It's just it's so hard because cabaret, stand up, it's so personal. It's so personal. So when it's sort of like, you're selling your art, you're selling your soul, right? And these people are telling him, nah, I don't like you, or we're not worth that much, or you know what I mean? So
people say, oh, don't take it personally. Guess what? That's the only way I can take it.
Right, exactly. It's my personal work. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. Now, let me ask you, because people are talking about it, it came up about a week ago or whatever. Ruby, can you bring in Kellyanne Conway? Oh my God. Now, Judy, you must have something to say about this.
What words am I allowed to use on?
I think you can use any word.
Okay. She can fucking Botox, pull back,
Filler.
correct. She's still a cunt. Thank you.
And you know why I say you can say that word? Because we have one.
Right. I do. I have one. I do.
I have one, so I can say that word.
I mean, it's like, they all look the same. It's that look, that
yeah,
fake, because they're just horrible people. Like, you don't have to be a liar. You don't have to be horrible. You don't have to defend the most indefensible person. And it's so, what the fuck is going on?
It's awful. But I have to say, I think she does look a lot better because she really looked like a dish rag, which is what she is.
Now, Julie, we did that movie about the plastic surgery. Take my notes, please.
Yeah. Yes.
And, I haven't had anything done. And I feel like don't you think I need to? Like here, now I'm starting to see things that are annoying me, but then everyone's like, you're too, I'm 57. You should have started a long time ago. But this really gets on my nerves right here.
Okay. First of all, and I feel like I'm a real friend to women and men, actually.
Yes.
I really do not think you need it.
What?
And I really don't.
Eyes.
No, I really don't. What you're saying is maybe a tad of filler, maybe,
right.
But you do not need, you have great structure. You have you have, your eyes are wide set enough. I don't think you need it. Now,
will you tell me when I need it?
I will.
I ask you. No, I'm not kidding.
Girlfriend. I really am a real girlfriend.
I know you're the greatest. So you promise you'll tell me. Everyone.
I will, but you don't. Now, but let me ask you. I think Bette Midler, Ruby, did Bette Midler actually? Yeah, she had something to say. What did she say? People are stumped by Kel. And what did Bette say? Only the stupid are stumped. There you go. There you go. Now you know Bette. I know Bette. And I just love her tweets so much. Aren't they the best?
So great. And I have a book coming out July 28th.
And what is that book?
Called Yes, I Can Say That. Wait.
I love it.
When they come for the comedians, we're all in trouble.
Yeah.
It's about free speech from the perspective of a comedian. And, you cannot shut down comedy. You cannot shut down satire. We are truth tellers, and that's why they hate us, and that's why they're scared of us, and they try to shut us down. But you cannot censor. That is what makes this country. Well,
not anymore right now.
But I'm just saying, the fact that you're going to cancel a comedian for a joke they did 20 years ago, or a word they used 10 years ago, or some mistake. And yet the president of the United States can tell people to drink Clorox.
Yes.
I mean, it's, so why are his lies protected? And yet
we're not.
Right. And we're not. And it is a polemic. It is an argument, and for free speech. And it's really a love story to stand up. But it's also I spoke to Ira Glasser, who was the head of the ACLU, and it's all about power. It's just power. It's because he has power. He can get away with saying the shit.
And I also think, and this is, a lot of people don't want to hear it, but when a woman says things,
oh my God,
so different than when a man says things.
I do. I have a chapter about women, but it's so funny when I was doing research. There were Jean Carroll was a comedian from the 50s, and when you look at the Toady Fields, and when you look at early Joan, and the reason I love Joan, I love Joan anyway. She was the greatest. But if you went through her, if you go through her 5 decades, you see where women stood in each decade by her material and what she was allowed to talk about. But you look at these older clips in the 50s and 60s, and you see the women basically get on stage and self-deprecate. Like, look, I know I should be at home. I know I'm fat. I know I should be, serving my husband and my kids. Okay, yeah, and they get that out of the way, and then they do their material.
Right.
And it's really, it hasn't changed much.
No. And a boy would never get up there and say, I know I should be nicer to my wife. I know I should know my children's names.
I know I'm fat. I know I smell.
Exactly. I know. No. It makes me crazy. Now I have to say, I have a clip from the Winnipeg Comedy Festival. And
God.
No. I love this. I love it. I think it's one of the smartest jokes I ever heard. Ruby, can we put this up? This is from 2017, I believe, Judy.
No, it's a couple of years before. Maybe.
Okay, a couple of years before. Anyway, let's just listen, because you have one of the smartest jokes in the world. But I want to ask you a question about your material once we watch this. Let's see where this, if the clip is, well, maybe Ruby. Has Ruby left the room? Where's Ruby?
She's 21.
She's 20. No,
I'm here. I'm just waiting to cue it. I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's all right. Cue up the clip.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Here.
What an honor to be on the show with them. Hello, Canada! So happy. I just flew in. I flew in from New York. I was in the airport, and you never see this in New York City, but I was actually walking through the airport, and I saw this Asian baby with Asian parents. I was like, what's going on here? Where's your mother? So... I have 2 kids, by the way, and as was mentioned in my intro, I am a lesbian with 2 children, and so I should tell you a little bit about. I had my kids with my ex-partner, Wendy. All right, well, that's not really her name. She doesn't want to be identified. She wants me to call her Wendy. Her real name's Sharon. Anyway, so let's just call her Schwendy. Anyway, so. Schwendy and I each had a child. She had one child, and I had Henry, who's 15, and I adopted him. And then I had Ben, who's 10, and she adopted him. And we used an anonymous sperm donor who's actually sitting right here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Kids are really looking forward to meeting you tomorrow. And and now I have a new wonderful, wonderful girlfriend, Elisa, who's a therapist. And my ex, Schwendy, has a new girlfriend. So basically my kids have 4 Jewish mothers. And... I mean, wouldn't you just kill yourself right then and there?
Okay, Henry is 23 now.
Oh, my God. But you know what? I love that you made that joke about the Asian parents. Because I remember in the aughts, during the aughts, and everyone knows hopefully what the aughts is, it seemed like everyone I knew or sort of knew was going off to China to adopt an Asian child, particularly an Asian girl, because, the Chinese, throw away the girls. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait, every white couple I knew had an Asian child.
Right. And, it's funny because I talk about this in my book, Hey Now, that I did this Howard Dean benefit years ago. I wasn't a big fan of his, but he was in the lead, and I really did not like George W. Bush.
Right.
And so I did this benefit. It got all this coverage. We all got in trouble for everything we said. But in the New York Post, this woman said that I was criticizing, it's just, don't write about comedy if you don't understand comedy, but just that I was being disparaging. People don't understand when you don't get the intent of the joke or the context or nuance or the fact that a comedian gets on stage for one reason, to make people laugh.
That's right.
That's it. And it's like, she probably has a prejudice or some issue with, and that's just social commentary that everyone
is. Of course it is. And I just love that. I mean, I literally was having coffee while I watched that clip, and I spit it out. I was laughing.
Oh.
It's smart. It's observant, and it's smart.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this, because we're in a different environment now. Well, we're in the path of a sociopath. have you found that you've had to edit material or anything?
Such a good question. It's really, have I mentioned my book? Anyway, but I haven't.
Okay.
And I think it's because I've been doing it for so long. And I am unapologetically who I am. And I have nothing to lose. But that being said, I have had seasoned A-list, very well-known comics say to me, do you think I can say this? Like people who are fearless. Is this going to get me in trouble? Is it,
Wow.
And that has never happened. I mean,
Wow.
we go through it's times have not changed. Like you think about what we're going through now with the systemic racism literally coming to a head finally. And a couple of weeks ago, a Richard Pryor bit from 1974 was the number 8 download on Spotify because it was about Black people and police. And 1974, and it's still relevant now. It shows that, you can have word police and you think you're bettering the world, but it's doing nothing. It's doing nothing. That's just surface shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can say, and these trigger words, it's sort of this idea that like everything is about that person. Like if I went on stage or you went on stage and said, oh my God, I just got in a cab accident. It was horrible. I can't believe I'm here. I hate driving, blah, blah, blah. And someone in the audience just lost their spouse in a car accident and is like, I was triggered. Right. That is the mindset of, I heard that word and it triggered me. What is this idea that no one's allowed to be uncomfortable anymore?
Well, here's the other thing. Art should trigger.
Right.
Art should trigger.
It enlightens. It's a unifier. I mean, I talk about comics with cerebral palsy and comics. There's a comic who's a little person, how, even as a gay, I came out in 96 on stage as a gay parent. People were like, after 3 jokes, they forgot I was gay. I was just a parent. You know what I mean?
Right. You were talking about kids.
Right.
And a parent. I know, honey, please. It's a whole thing. However, I also feel like we're in a really amazing moment right now. And I think we need to honor that. And it's amazing.
Yes.
But on the other hand, we have to somehow balance that. But the most important thing right now is that we have to get the sociopath out of the White House.
Here's the thing. The thing is that his base, his cheating, his disregard. I mean, look, there are plenty of presidents I didn't like, plenty of presidents you didn't like.
Right.
But they didn't disparage the office of the presidency. They didn't give a fucking medal to Rush Limbaugh. They didn't, take all of these sort of traditions and customs and throw them out and shit on them. Like
and disregard the people of this country. Basically, it's a disregard.
Right. And you're not president of one half, like the people who like you, That's right. And those people who like you, I hate to tell you, he wouldn't even let into Mar-a-Lago.
No. He hates you. Yeah. He basically hates you.
Yeah.
And you know what? He makes fun of you behind your back.
Well, he doesn't. He had, in order to have, first of all, he's so thin-skinned. I mean, no comic at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, no comic at the Emmys, no comic at the Oscars. The fact that he can't take a joke says so much about him.
It's unbelievable.
He's a
sociopath, honey.
Yeah.
He's a sociopath.
Yeah. And the fact that no one cares because they're making more money, it's like, what the fuck? And especially Jews, Tikkun Olam, baby. Repair the world.
Yeah. By the way, Bunny Bixler is writing in and saying she wants you to be mayor, darling. Judy for mayor.
I love you.
Judy for mayor. I
could never be mayor because, there's so many videos of me saying the most horrible things.
Now,
But I never said I'm gonna go grab a pussy, but whatever.
Well, there. Oh, I love this. Darling,
Yes.
you are not only an A-list stand-up, you're also an actress, and I saw you in Shakespeare in the Park as Gremio in The Taming of the Shrew. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Oh my
and
God.
of course, you have a successful podcast, Kill Me Now, and you're a successful playwright and author. We'll get to that. But also, we're going to go back. Ruby, I just want you to know that picture of Judy and her mom and grandma, we're going to get back to. We're going to get back to. But we're all over the map. But I want you to tell us a little bit about Gremio and what that was like.
Okay. So first of all, I never in my life thought I would get the opportunity to do Shakespeare. And, my graduate school was basically comedy clubs. That's, because I auditioned for graduate school and Bill Esper told me that I was too tall and he said, you're very talented. You have excellent comedic timing, but you're too tall. How am I supposed to cast you? So
Wow.
I didn't go to graduate school and
Did you go to Rutgers? Wait, where were you
Yes,
going?
I went to Rutgers.
Went to Rutgers, yeah, because
But I
Bill
studied
Esper was at
music.
Rutgers.
Yeah, I studied music, but I wanted to go into theater. Anyway, so basically, I felt like doing that show. First of all, getting cast in that show, I could have gone on tour with Cyndi Lauper. I was scheduled to go on tour with Cyndi Lauper and make a lot of money.
Okay.
Not a lot, but I would be not
Some
worried.
real money. Some real money.
And I got this job for $500. It's like $500 a week.
Right.
And it was bucket list, and first of all, I'm working Janet McTeer, otherworldly.
Yeah, she's genius. She's a
Genius.
great actress.
Cush Jumbo, Donna Lynn Champlin, Ann
Yes.
Nathan. I mean, some of these people, and so first of all, it was an all-female production,
Right.
which we never get. We
No.
never get. We never get to work with each other. Like it's so, even in women in comedy, it was like Comedy U Grand years ago had a Thursday night was all women. And that was the only time we ever worked together because we never put more than one woman on a show. So working with all these women and these such accomplished actors. And I learned so much. And it was, all right. So how when people go on movie sets and they fall in love and blah, blah, blah. And how when you do a project, it's like going to camp.
Yes.
That's your whole life.
Yep.
And
Yep. It is. It's very much like camp.
it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
And I really couldn't. I didn't do I did do stand up in the show. They changed one of the monologues.
Right. I remember that.
Stand up as Gremio, but I really put 150% of my whole life. It was as if I was away on a set,
Yeah.
just studying that. And,
Well, you were brilliant in the show. You were brilliant.
Latoya Jackson was amazing. Like it was so great. Yeah.
No, you were brilliant. You were brilliant. And
I would
the thing,
pinch myself.
yeah, no, and you did the right thing. You did the right bucket list
I know.
thing. You really did. No, look at that face.
No,
I
I
know
know.
that face. Ruby, I'm going back to my tech director. Can we bring up that picture? This has been on your Instagram account. This is your mom, your beautiful mom, and your grandmother. There they are.
Yes.
You tell us, we know a lot about your mom because of your
Yeah.
act, but I don't really know much about your grandmother. Can you tell us a little bit about her?
Yeah. I loved my grandmother. First of all, look at everyone's legs. Okay. My grandmother was born in 1896.
Wow.
She was 5'7". She was a school teacher. She did go to college, which most women didn't. She played basketball.
That's right.
They were from Manhattan, but they also lived in Perth Amboy, where I guess my family came over in the 1880s. She was, I think about my grandmother. She lived till I was 25, and on the weekends we shared a room. She would come and visit on the weekends, and when I think back, I had older parents, which I feel like I really grew up in the 50s, but I was 70s. But
Right.
I think back that she was 24 when women got the right to vote. I mean, and I just remember the things that were so important to her, like penmanship.
Yes.
Reading book. She wanted me to read Little Women. So, I still have some of her books and writing. I still write letters. I still handwrite thank you notes.
Me too.
But just that, I mean, 1896, like she was a flapper, It's,
Yes.
And I knew her until I was 25. Like, that's pretty amazing.
No, it's fantastic. It's inspirational. It's amazing.
She was great. She was just, she was fun. She was smart.
Yeah.
That's
wonderful. I'm so glad to hear it, because when I saw that on Instagram, I said, oh my God, I know her mom a little, you know what I mean? But I don't know much about grandma. And
as sarcastic as my mother was and non-affectionate, my grandmother was so affectionate. Like I got my hugs and
my grandmother on my mom's side, she lived to almost 99, and I adored her, but she was German and Irish. And I say a little more German than Irish. And she used to say things like, I remember being like 9 years old and saying I wanted to be an actress. And she said, where'd you ever get that idea? And I was like, ooh, okay. And then another time I said something like, what's for dessert? After I had dinner with her, and she said, dessert the table. And I was like, wow. Kind of a Nazi. But anyway, I just want to, if people are enjoying this, can I just once again, please feel free to tip us. We have to pay for the platform, pay for my eyelashes, pay a portion to the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation.
Pay for this top I put on.
Yeah, pay for the spangly top that Judy doesn't wear very often.
No, I know. But I think
today.
Yeah.
Today. And
I knew I would have a use for it.
Exactly.
What's on the bottom, that undoes the whole thing.
The minute the show is over, that top is off.
Well, I'm wearing jean shorts with it.
So please feel free. Anyway, thank you so much. Now I want to bring on, if just to get a little serious for a minute, because it is Pride weekend, one of the most incredible, amazing women on the planet Earth, and a real warrior. And you knew her. I met her a number of times. Can we bring up that picture of this incredible woman? There she is.
Makes me want to cry. Makes me want to cry.
Look at that woman. Yes.
When I know a lot about Edie, and I knew her. I was actually on the first date she had with her wife, her second wife. But
yes,
the thing that was so beautiful about her, and the thing that, and it is Pride, and I do think of her so often, because she got engaged to Thea, her wife, in 1967. Okay. In 1967, they proposed to each other. The fact that thought was even in their mind, that was a possibility, that their relationship would be validated and would be legal and was equal, is
astonishing.
It's beyond. It's beyond.
It's astonishing.
I think about, you were talking about the AIDS crisis, which was horrible. And Edie often said it was the catalyst for gay marriage and equality. I mean, people couldn't hide. I mean, gay men couldn't hide who they were. Plus, these guys are dying, and then their families are saying, you've been together for 30 years. Well, he's not allowed here. And I have control of all your property. It was, people always say, when anything, people who are anti.
Right.
When you think about when gay marriage passed in New York, okay, most marriages record marriages in that one day. But where did people go to get married? They went to City Hall. They didn't go to churches. They didn't go to synagogues. They didn't go to mosques. They went to get the rights that we are entitled to because we pay taxes and our relationship is just as valid as a straight, like it's, and the word pride, we do have pride and we have been denied that. We have been, thrown to the curb.
It's unbelievable. I'll never forget my dear friend Wayne, who did pass away from AIDS, and I was one of the people who was taking care of him. We had a group of caregivers for him, and of course, it was very sad for us because his parents basically denied him
Right.
while he was dying. Okay, brother would not speak to him. Father would not speak to him. Mother did come up for 3 days and saw him in the hospital. And meanwhile, here we are taking care of her son that she denied.
Right.
Denied. And we couldn't believe it. I will say this, and I love this story. His mother wanted to go to his apartment to get things, settled and, take care of business. A friend and I went to the apartment and scattered gay pornography all over the apartment. And I just thought it was great. I was like, well, Mom, here you go.
Hilarious. It's so funny
but
when
it's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
It was so horrible.
And it's like you gave birth to this person and this person is perfect. No one chooses to be gay. Like no one chooses it.
Love is love. What Libby Whitmore is saying, love is love.
Whitmore, I love you. Oh, I love you. But it's so funny that people always think that heterosexual relationships are so quote unquote normal, but all of us had heterosexual parents. It's not like they.
Hello.
I had from the most traditional family ever. I'm gay. I was born this way. I love another human being who happens to be the same gender. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, my friend Barbara said you can say dykes on bikes.
Yeah, you can say dykes on bikes.
I was being careful, but she said say it loud and proud.
Dykes on bikes, baby.
Yeah, dykes on bikes, and I loved it. Now, Judy,
yes,
you have Elisa. You have your 2 sons, and I have a picture of you that is one of my favorite pictures of you in the whole world. I think it's so priceless and timeless. But I'd like to bring Jim back in. Jim, have you been listening to our conversation?
No, I was on the phone. Of course, I listened to every word. I didn't know Judy was a musician and was going to be a music major.
No, I was a music major.
You were what? What does that mean? What did you do?
Well, I didn't do performance because I was not sitting in that practice room for.
Right.
So I was like a general music major, but I play piano. I still play. And I played clarinet. Actually, in Shakespeare in the Park, I played clarinet.
Yes, she was so great. I mean, this is the thing. Judy is very tall. We know that. We also know she's, it's like me. She's,
it's all out there. Yeah,
she's a loud lady. Blah 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 blah. She's a terrific actress. She's a terrific actress. And can do many, many, many different things, and also a great human being. So
I do have a question, though.
You have a
question, Judy. I mean, you worked for years and years as a comic, and then you decided to come out. What was the impetus to change you from a comic to a gay comic? An out.
Well, I still consider myself a comic. I happen to be gay.
Right.
So, I never had material about, I didn't want to be a gay comic. So that was also why I didn't come out. I didn't have any jokes about being
interesting.
I wasn't really in. Everyone knew I was a big lesbian. But when I had children, I had so much material. And I knew people who were gay and with children who didn't talk about it. And I was like, what kind of message is that to your kids? we're ashamed. It's something that we're not going to talk about. I was so proud of my family, and I wanted to show the world that we're just like you guys, you know.
Right.
And every comic talks about their family. Why shouldn't I talk about my family? And that was really the impetus. That's how. But before that, I was talking about, you know, I wasn't like. First of all, I could have said, you know, I'm a les, and then have no jokes about it. But I talked about my lesbian roommates, and you know, I don't know. It really, that was the catalyst. And you know, when you came out, the earlier you came out, like, and my hero Bob Smith, you know, think of Frank Maya, Bill Clinton, Robin Tyler. Oh my God, there's so many. Suzanne Westenhofer, Leah Delaria. You know, these people were really brave, but they stayed in that lane. And I wanted to be, and look, it totally affected my career when I came out. Totally.
Really? Tell us about that.
Well, I was on a series, and then I got another series, and then you know, and it was in two ways. Mainstream was like, you know, can you not talk about that? I mean, I got a lot of don't talk about being Jewish, don't talk about being gay. I'm like, that's who I am. But it's funny because I was just talking about this the other day, that and I know Julie too, but when I used to host every gay pride event, every GLAAD, the center, the AIDS walk, everything. And then, you know, 15 years later, when it was safer and people had made their millions, they would come out of the closet and be the gay of the week. And it's like, I don't even get invited to the women's dinner for the center. I used to host that, you know, like,
I remember when you hosted it. I was there one night. Yes.
And it's like, that's what's really upsetting. It's like, okay, great, Robin Roberts. I'm so glad you finally came out, you know.
Right.
But it's a lot. I mean, you're Jim, you know, these young gay boys who think they can't get HIV, you know?
Right.
They're
living like crap, and they're not wearing a mask.
I was just going to say, and now we're seeing another version of that. I went to get a coffee today, and here on the Upper West Side, which was Mask City a week ago.
I know. I live on the Upper West Side too. I was shocked today.
Shocked. It's like, oh, it's over.
Wear a mask.
And putting it over here is not wearing it, you asshole.
And guess what? If you don't care about yourself, fine. But you know what? I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Right. It's not about you. It's not about you. But it's like, you got to remember where you came from. You got to, like, I know that there have been so many ebbs and flows in my career. And where do I go when I'm feeling like, I go to a comedy club where I started in front of like 90 people in smelly gross, because that's, you know, you cannot forget where you came from.
Can I tell you, this is why, I love Jim Caruso for many reasons. He was the one who said to me, you know, because I was sort of sitting there, and Judy, you know this, you know, I'm a widow now. I'm living alone. It's like me and the freaking two cats.
And
it's
that
like,
plant,
really?
Yeah.
What, honey?
And the flowers, yeah.
And the flowers. And the renovated kitchen from my TV world. But anyway, and I'm like, really? You know, what am I going to do? And it was Jim Caruso who said, Julie, if anyone should do a virtual something, you should be talking to, you love to name drop anyway. Just have all your famous friends on the show.
People don't realize that you have to recreate yourself. Reinvent. The only person who doesn't have to reinvent themselves is Billy Joel. That's it.
Well, no, but you know what? You're right. Even Meryl Streep has had to reinvent herself.
Right.
Every role she does.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Billy Joel can just sit there and
the same album.
Yeah.
And the Margaritaville guy.
Well, yeah. Jimmy Buffett. And they can just get drunk. They can get drunk sitting on Main Street in Sag Harbor and drink a red wine.
Right, and sing, this album from 1972, and there's
And that's it.
brilliant, yeah.
$1
Don't
million.
forget to repeat a joke. Ooh,
$1 million.
Yeah.
Can we bring up, Rue, because we're just about done. Can we bring up my favorite picture of Judy Gold?
Oh, God.
Priceless in time. No, it's so brilliant. I love this picture. Take a look.
I love that photo.
Oh God, it's so good.
Isn't that
Eric Korenman, and he's always like, what should we do? What should we do? And I feel like I would have really thrived in the 40s.
Well, it looks
It's still
like
40s.
in 1944, but it could also be 2004. It could also be this year. It's a timeless photo. You look like you could be, Fanny Bryce.
Right,
but on the other hand, you could also be right now.
Right.
It is a genius photo. You look beautiful, but you're also priceless and timeless. And I just have to say, I really admire you for so many reasons, Judy. We've known each other a long time, and I'm going to get a little verklempt now, but you're really an idol of mine. You really are. You're the hardest working person in the world, and I admire that you constantly have a wonderful balance of hilarity and social justice. And I think that's really important.
Oh my God, you are the sweetest. I love you. You have been beyond a good friend. And I loved Ralph. He was the greatest. And classy. You're so fucking classy.
Well, bless you. And you know what? I did
It's
love
okay. It's
Ralph.
okay.
Ralph was very, very classy. And I actually found a picture of my late husband just recently, and I thought, dang, he was cute. He
was really cute.
He was really good looking.
Yeah.
And I thought, no wonder I stayed with that man for 27 years. He was really sexy. And I just want to, ask everyone, I hope you enjoyed Jim Caruso, Ruby Lochner, the great Judy Gold, myself. Can we put up, if you enjoyed this show, Venmo and PayPal, if you can tip us, we would love it. We're asking you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also, if you have any questions for us, you can always write to my Julie L. Halston at gmail.com. And follow me. There we are. And follow me, actress Julie Halston, and Twitter at Julie Halston. And I think we covered everything. Judy, what can I say? When's the book?
You guys. The book comes out. Wait, July 28th.
Okay.
The same day as Mary Trump's book and Bill Barr testifying. So I have great luck as usual.
Yeah, it's also my mother's birthday and Jackie Kennedy's birthday.
Oh, but you can get it. You can pre-order. You can go to my website, judygold.com, whatever, But it's really fun. If you love comedy, you'll love the book.
It's brilliant. And you're brilliant, and we love you. Jim, next week, guess who we have? We have Mo Rocca.
Oh, I love Mo Rocca.
So good. From CBS This Morning.
Yes.
Funny, smart.
So
that's going to be a great conversation.
It's going to be a great conversation. Judy, you're a great conversation.
I love you.
My love to the whole family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
What more is there to say?